Natural.M. If you're new to my channel, what's up? My name is Mahesh aka Natural.M. If you're not into my channel, welcome back, baby. Period. Okay, so in today's video, as you can see by the title, I'm doing a story time. Period. Story time. And this story time gonna be a little wild because this story time is about the time that I lost my virginity. Yep, lost the V card. Your girl is not a virgin. Now I know some of y'all like, girl, we knew that, and then some of y'all are probably like, what? You look so innocent. You like you don't do nothing. Yeah, your girl lost your virginity. So let's go ahead and get started into this story. So we're gonna flash back to this happened in 2017. It was my senior year. Literally the last week of school, like literally I lost my virginity, and then a couple days later I literally graduated. So here's a little backstory about the person that I lost it to. Basically, me and this person, we were messing around for years. Like, we started messing around like the sophomore year summer. So basically, after sophomore year, that's when we started messing around. Like, we started dating and stuff. You know, we weren't doing sexual stuff because, you know, we both were virgins and stuff at that time. But we was, you know, messing around for a couple years, and then, you know, we dated, but then we ended up breaking up, and then we, you know, senior year we got back together because I'm one of those people, I keep my promises and da-da-da-da. But we got back together senior year, and we were dating each other for like, I ain't gonna cap, I think it was like 4 to 6 months before we had sex. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like throughout time we would do sexual stuff with each other when we started dating. Like, you know what, the in between the leg stuff, but the, you know. And then you know, he would like, I know it's team mine, but it's like finger me and stuff. Like, we did this thing, I call it the finger test, where basically you test out each finger to see, you know, how much pressure you could take, because, you know, I was a virgin, so the shit was hurting. Like, he wasn't a virgin, but I was a virgin, and so, you know, throughout time we'll take our time. So this specific time where we did it, it was in May, because I think, yeah, we started dating in like January. Yeah, damn, oh my gosh. But we did this in May. I remember the date and everything. And on this particular day, it was the last week of school. So basically, with the last week of school, there's testing going on. And basically, if you don't have a certain test, you could just go home or something like that. Like, because we have class periods, you know, 1st through 7th period. And on this particular day, it was 2nd, 3rd, and 4th period testing. But I only had to take my 2nd period. He only had to take his 2nd period. And 3rd period, we both didn't have a test because we both did okay in the class. And then our 4th period, we both were aiding. And I was an aide for the guidance office. So basically, I think it's the week before testing, the school sends home a paper basically saying, you know, your child can be excused from testing. You know, just sign it and then turn it into the office. And then boom, voila, magic. So I got my paper filled out. You know, my mama, you know, the real OG, you know, she fucks with it. So she like, fuck you ain't got no test, you ain't gotta, you know, stay at fucking school, the fuck. And plus I was a good girl, so, you know, she let me be chill with stuff that I did. So I got my paper filled out, turned it in. Now with him, he didn't get his paper filled out because his parents wasn't with the shit. So he didn't get his shit filled out. But when it came time, like basically fast forward through the day, it's like, okay, it's time to leave, you know, da-da-da. So he's just like, I think I'm just gonna sneak out. Like, I'm just gonna leave because there's no reason for me to be here, and I only have one test and I already took it. So I'm just like, okay, do what you wanna do. Do what you wanna do, bro. So it comes time to leave the school, and what you do is you go, there's the office over here or whatever, and so you go, and then there's a table full of like slips. No, it's a list. It's basically a list of names of people who could just, sign your name, and then you get the fuck out. So I went over there, I signed my name, and then I'm like, okay. He's like, I'm just gonna pretend like I'm gonna sign my name. So he like, and period. And so this is where they fucked up at, because you could go through the front office door and leave, or you could just go to the fucking doors right next to the office and leave. So that's what the fuck we did. We said deuces, because we didn't have time for the bullshit. So we both left. My mama picked us up, because at that time your girl wasn't whipping, but it's okay. My mama picked us up, so we riding, we get home, and then I really don't remember too much about after we got home from school, but I know, of course, we're in a relationship, we're kissing and watching movies, chilling, cuddling, and all that stuff. So after a while, things started to get a little heated. Like, shit went left real quick. And so, like, I know this is like weird and funny, but basically we got on the floor. And so, told me to sit on his face, and as he did his thing or whatever. And then next we tried a couple of times. Like, this is where the story gets real juicy. We tried a couple of times, and then it wasn't working. So he's like, okay, sit on my face again, and we'll try it again. So I did. And then next I got back down. Next pop. We said, and then we just like, I know this is funny, but we started going at it like pop, pop, pop. Like, literally, it was like 4 pops, and then the shit just like, bloop, it just fell out. And it's like, we just shook, because it's like, oh my gosh, like, we've been trying for the longest, and the fact that we finally got it and the shit just slipped out, it was just like, oh my gosh. And so I stood up, and we're both shook, like, oh my gosh, we just did this shit. And so I stood up, and then he was like, I know this is about to be really gross, but he was like, oh my god, I felt something on my leg. So I looked down, and drop. Like, blood is just like dropping all over the place. I'm like, oh my god. Like, I was embarrassed, but at the same time, I knew that a lot of people, after they lose their virginity, they bleed. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I clean myself up. I, TMI again, I go put a pad on, because, I'm not gonna be walking around with fucking bloody pussy. You know what I'm saying? And so I put my pad on, I'm just like, oh my gosh, we clean him off. And I'm like, wow, like, we just did this shit. Like, we tried so hard for the longest, and it finally fucking worked. Like, when I tell y'all, that was the most awkwardest pain I ever been in my life. Like, for those who already lost their virginity, they know what that shit feel like. That shit is weird. Like, it's like, ew. But, it was and it was very crazy, because, my mom, she was in a room, like, across from mine. I don't know if she knew what was going on. She probably did, she be knowing shit. But after we had did it, it was time for him to go, because, school hours were over, so he had to act like he was at school all day. And so we kissed, and he was like, oh my god, like, ooh. And then after that, he went home, and I think like the next day or the day after that, he came over again, and we did it again. Now this is when shit get crunk, because this is around the time, it was like, I guess like my gullible years or whatever. Well, we both was gullible, and so the next time we did it, basically he, what word can I use to not make it sound so like, oh my gosh, bitch, are you serious? Basically, he released in me. Yeah, he released in me, and after a while, we was just like, yeah, we doing it, no protection, we gonna have a kid, da 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 da. Like, after he released me, like, we really thought that we were pregnant. Like, we was fucking stupid. We was stupid as fuck. Like, we really thought that we was pregnant. Like, even got to the point where I was gonna take a pregnancy test, and I honestly had to wake my mama up, and I was just like, you know, I started crying like, oh my God, mama, like, we think I'm pregnant, I'm gonna take a test, like, for us, it was like, oh, pregnant, woo. But like, when it came to reality, it was like, damn, like, bitch, I might be pregnant, like, what the fuck, bro? Like, both of our families, they was just like, hell to the fuck, like, what the hell is wrong with y'all? But like, when I told my mama, I was like, you know, crying and shit, like, oh my God, yeah, we really think I'm pregnant. She's like, why y'all think y'all pregnant? I'm like, well, you know, of course, because we did it. You know, he released me, and like, he did. And then she was just in here like, girl, I'm gonna take you to the doctor, and da-da-da-da. So I went to the doctor, found out I wasn't pregnant. I ain't gonna cap, it shook our worlds, because we was like, damn, like, because we really thought we was gonna be together forever, but shit happens. And so when we found out we wasn't pregnant, they was like, okay, cool. His family was like, okay, cool. My family was like, okay, cool. You know, my dad, he wasn't really pissed at me or anything, because at this time I was 18, so they're like, you know, you 18 years old, you can handle your own, you're grown enough, and blah blah blah. So after that, you know, I got put on birth control and shit. I hated that shit. If y'all been on it before, y'all know what that shit is like, bro. That shit is mad annoying. But after that, you know, I ain't gonna lie, we still ain't use protection. And we just kept on having sex. Like, there was even a point where we couldn't even really have sex, because for some reason, it was just weird. Like, I don't know how to explain. Like, the inside of me was just being weird. So it was like rejecting. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if every girl has that problem. But, yeah, that's basically it for the story time. That shit was mad wow. Like, if y'all want me to, I could do a video on, like, questions of, you know, if you are a virgin, how to, you know, prepare yourself, you know, to be in that stage, you know, how to not be peer pressured, and da-da-da-da. But, that's it for this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and show support, because support is great. Whoa. Bye, y'all.
Baby girl, what you doing? Where your man? I just popped a Zan, 50,000 in Japan. I ain't doing no plan, these red bottoms on no Vans. And she telling all her friends, I might put them on a